Before we start, please find your comfortable place and you may open your reading the visual learning material. Brace yourselves as the student of General Education 20 Reading Visual Arts of University of Mindanao will report on narrative, genre, and intertextuality. The presentation will start in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good day everyone! For today's video, we will have a tour in a place where narrative, genre, and intertextuality reside. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Ladian Caballero, your reporter for today. Let me share these points on why do we need to study narrative, genre, and intertextuality. These can be ground for self-exploration and self-expression. Also, an opportunity to widen our imagination, learnings, and enjoyment. These can also be a factor that we can acquire the skill of comprehension and may resolve challenges in the future and will adapt to the present environment. We can also establish strong set of skills like creativity, problem solving, strong communication, critical thinking, and self-discipline. According to Barthes, the variation in readings is not an archaic meaning in an orderly manner. It depends on the different kinds of knowledge, maybe it practical, national, cultural, and aesthetic, which are invested in the image. Let us define narrative. We are familiar in this term since commonly it includes stories having sequence of related events that unite and have relationship with each other. A text which is not organized will probably bring constraints to the viewers or readers and will be difficult to understand. Next, narrative can be subdivided into 3, the beginning, middle, and end. In the beginning part, you may find the names of characters and their roles. Middle part brings our minds into the series of events being highlighted, while the end is when the conflict is resolved. Let us move on to intertextuality. It is the process of making sense of texts by reference to other texts or to meanings that have already been made in other texts. Because no social practice can operate in isolation from its social context, any spoken, written, or visual text will either connote or cite texts, and by recalling these known stories, will propel our reading in a particular direction. Our knowledge may be a tacit, which means a familiarity which most people in Western society have seen old portrait photographs, so we will draw on others we have seen and perhaps know about our old pictures to make story from this instance of the text. It is also the use of other texts to create new texts. Intertextuality and genre both ensure that only certain stories can be read into visual texts by readers who share a similar context, background, and history. Let us take, for example, the show The Simpsons, which uses lots of images, symbols, and other signs to better understand the content it conveys, which are the periods of time without having to explain an entire backstory. After explaining the intertextuality and narrative, let us now proceed to genre. It simply means a particular type or kind of text, which came from the Latin word genus or kind. It is commonly a kind of organizational device, a way of shelving books and arranging art galleries by putting like with like. It is also a very ancient taxonomical practice, which the earliest writings on narrative classified texts into poetry, prose, drama, which are again subdivided into tragedy, comedy, drama, romance, horror, art house, self-help, and other categories. So like this one, which are the events related to genre, horror, romance, and the films related to war. The idea of genre includes not only what type of a text might be, but also the process by which it is constructed and the process by which the readers make sense of it. Other genres might share many of its qualities. For an instance, a historical drama would also be likely to have horses rather than cars. It might have similar characters and have similar actions, but we would still be likely to identify one in the way in which they are combined in the text. Next, understanding generic order means we can easily make sense of text and communication exchange. Just as what the saying goes, a reader lives 1,000 lives. It widens our imaginations and thoughts and brings us to peace. May we all have the interest to read and explore beyond limits. That concludes the presentation about narrative, genre, and intertextuality. Again, this has been your reporter Ladi Caballero saying thank you and God bless us all.